I'm in Kathmandu. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. So it's quite amazing here. And I'm being in from here. Very, very high vibe. And of course, close to the highest place on earth. So it's a very moving experience to be here. And as we lift to the heights, we also pull out of the depths. And Kathmandu has preserved really ancient teachings in a beautiful way because they really haven't been invaded by other cultures. So it's fascinating to watch and to experience what's going on here, and also the way that it touches my soul, because it pulls out of me a very primordial experience. This particular transmission that I'm going to share with you, I received a few weeks ago. I was actually woken up out of my sleep in the morning with the whole thing there. I just grabbed my phone and I started dictating. And that doesn't happen that often to me. Usually, they just wait until I'm ready to sit down and say my prayer and go, okay, let me know what you want to say. So it felt that it had an urgency to it. Although I've been traveling and I wasn't able to really sit down with the whole thing and bring it into a way that I could communicate it and understand it deeply enough to be able to assist in the understanding as well. And also, it's political, slightly political. They're talking about politics, and that was so new to me from the angelic realm, because the angelic realm, they hold the overview of the God self. They don't take sides. Love is a circle. They see everything working in that particular way. So I thought, well, isn't politics about sides, but they really approach it in this very insightful way for where we are now, and also in an overview for humanity to understand the new power systems that we're moving into and what it is that we're moving out of. And I understand now why they brought through it in a political way, because they're assisting us in quantuming this experience forward. Because right now we're at a stage where, well, it explains it in the transmission, but we're at a stage where there's lots of players that have good intentions, but they're caught in their own limited patternings, and they are in their own attempt to wake people up, actually from their own fears, encouraging the sleepiness. And so the angelic realm are stepping in now for those who wish to listen to this and it resonates with, to assist us not to go into that sleepiness, to be able to recognize that stage and to quantum out of it. Okay, so I hope you enjoy. Before we dig into the transmission, let's take a moment to open the cells and the expansive nature of our being, so that we can fully receive the higher realm wisdom and allow it to be a vibrational, healing, transformational experience. Touch the thumb and first fingers together, close your eyes, and start to take slow, deep breaths, feeling like you're calling in all of your pieces, bringing everything here, right now, bringing in openness into the heart and into the mind, softening behind the eyes, relaxing the mind, softening deep inside the ears, relaxing the hearing. And feel yourself open and receptive for deep transformation and deep evolution of consciousness. And you may stay in this position all the way through if you like, with your eyes closed, or you may open your eyes as we continue on. Blessed be love. We're calling this the spiritual politics of the now. Children of the light, the old God is dead. Discover the courage to allow your leaders, your guides, and yourselves to be evolutionary beings, even to allow the source energy this permission without losing their perfection. So important. Even the source energy is an evoluting energy, and this is what we need to learn to trust. that there's not some perfect God up in heaven that never changes and that's what makes it safe. There's something else completely different. It's a much more vibrant experience of ourselves that lives within us, that we want to align ourselves with, to be able to align ourselves with reality. We see that the ones that are believing in this old God heaven, just waiting for this perfect experience, well, they very rarely look very vibrant, do they? They don't have a lot of vibrancy that comes off of them because they're missing a very big piece of creation, of reality. There are political figures in your world at this time being glorified and being condemned. Beings of public presence are using their position to influence others, and they are distorting realities, making people all light or all dark, out of their own fear of the future, out of their tender challenges in their own personal self-acceptance of their journeys, of the complete person, towards the complete person that they are. So they're saying that what's happening politically is that some people are being glorified, some people are being condemned, and different crowds are doing it in different directions. So it's happening, ding, 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 the pendulum is swinging. Neither of these perceptions are correct. And that there are public figures that out of their own insecurity, out of their own fear of the future, their own idea of the old God needing something to be absolutely all right, for everything to be safe, for the future to be bright, that they're also feeding into this, and they're feeding people these ideas as well. I'm just going to go back into the transmission. Out of their own fears of the future and their tender challenges in self-acceptance of the complete person that they are. They have a fear, and each human being has this when they're in the patterning of the old God. That one who makes choices cannot make mistakes. They are frightened that one who makes choices is also making mistakes at times. And this is because we have been conditioned for so long to allow others to ultimately be choosing for us. It appears hard to clear the enmeshment and realize the sacred truth that no one makes a choice for you. You have always had the power to choose your response to any circumstance that arises, and to liberate yourself from suffering to love. And so we needn't fear that we have leaders making big choices that are imperfect in their nature. We needn't create a candy-coated version of them and not be able to see clearly where their limitations are and to be able to celebrate where their freedom is. We don't need to fear that choices are made out of imperfect vessels, because ultimately there is no choice that anyone makes that is our choice. We make the choice with them or not with them. And this is the new understanding of the truth of reality that we are growing into. This will liberate us from where we have been, and it will also be the tools for where we're going. Influencing others by distorting truth, even just a tiny bit, is a mistaken judgment. It's not protecting people. It's the opposite. It's a mistake in the path of leadership. Again, it's not empowering people. It's becoming like a caretaker instead, trying to make sure that they're okay, make sure that you're telling them that fear might not exist, that does exist. You take away their empowered response and perception of the situation, and their trusting their discernment. So it encourages a dullness in the minds of the collective, which is more of the same of where we're coming from. It's more of what we have been preaching that we want to clear. It's more of the same. We don't want to encourage the collective to be confused about what they see. We want to encourage them to choose another viewpoint. We want to let them actually honor what they see, honor the confusions of seeing that people that are clearly, as they say in yoga, not finished being baked, their cake. In leadership positions, making some very odd decisions, choices, and statements, and then also making things that are really helpful. We need to be able to trust the human experience and trust our ability to relate to it. It's not helpful in any way. In fact, it creates a sleepiness in the consciousness to try to distort things and say that things that are clearly out of balance are actually part of it being balanced, and to glorify it in some way. This is the old paradigm. This is the old God. We are bringing in the new God. The new God is the heaven and earth being. It is a human being, and it is a divine essence combined. And it is an evolutionary experience of consciousness. So encouraging people to choose another viewpoint than what is clearly in front of them is encouraging the collective to stay in their prisons of the old conditioning of good and evil, of judgment of us and them, of that somebody is all good or somebody is all bad. Not that these principles of harm and of kindness don't exist. This is a different topic completely. It comes from a lack of understanding and the ability to see an imperfect, evoluting being as the potential instrument of good doing. You see, when we can see that in another, then we will see it in ourselves. We will be able to allow ourselves all of our mistakes, all of our unconsciousness, all of our harmful actions, everything about ourselves, what we consider to be the shadow, what we consider to be bad in some way. And we will not write ourselves off. We will be able to see that we are instruments of good, that it is an evolutionary process. And what we expect from our leaders is what we expect from ourselves. And it is an unrealistic experience that comes from the old God and the old paradigm. It has done nothing but create prisons, create limitations, create disempowerment, people looking to the outside for who's going to save them. It is the savior complex. The savior doesn't come here to passively take away all of your pain. The savior comes here to show you how to become your most vibrant, most radiant self, and to align yourself with cosmic creation. For you see, it does not matter so much what the patterns of limitation of an individual are, as it matters what they choose to do with these patterns. One must be able to look clearly at their limitations and the liberations of a person, and always make room for something wonderful to be the result. We cannot any longer put people in categories. And understand, when we have those tendencies come up, it's because we are doing that with ourselves. Find that loving self place where you can see that you're doing it with yourselves, and then therefore you're sharing it outward, and set yourself free from it. You are growing out of the black and white world of all good and all evil. So they're saying all bad. They're saying you're growing out of it. And the tremendous prison of the soul that this has created for the collective over thousands of years, it has created a prison of always needing to have something from the outside tell us that we're okay. Tell us that our natural experience of life is actually all right. And human beings are inconsistent. Human beings are instruments of separation from divinity. That's what it actually means to be human at this particular time in our evolution. So we're never going to get a consistent yes from another human being. We need to get it from inside in our relationship with source reality. So this growing out of this all good and all bad, and this tremendous prison of the soul, that has been created in your collective for over thousands of years. And these are the shakings that we experience. For no one of you is all good or all bad. If you wish to use those descriptions, we see it, the angelic see it, as all limited or all free. And they're inviting us to change these ideas of good and bad. So limited and free. Limited and free. And they're saying none of us is all limited or all free. And may it be known that in the realm of possibilities, from your limitations, you will make choices for freedom. From your limitations, you will make choices for freedom. And you will make choices for unity and love from your limitations. And from your liberations, you will also make choices against freedom and unity and love as you explore the differences. So you see, the realm of possibilities is vast, it's multidimensional. There's no easy way, there's no simple way to categorize all of this, although it's easy if we let our heart open to reality. Then we can see these things. Liberation just chose to oppress something because they were frightened of losing their liberation. Limitation just chose to free something because they were tired of their limitation. So it doesn't mean, so somebody is looks like a very limited person, doesn't mean that they're going to just create havoc. Somebody's a really liberated person doesn't mean that they're going to create freedom. We've seen this. If we can start to think like this and then we reflect back on what we saw about different political figures, what we thought, and then often, they behave differently than what we thought, and we have all these reasons why. Some of them are above ground, some of them are underground, but ultimately what it is this experience of the human trial and error, and starting to understand and get used to these different patterns, exploring the differences between limitation and liberation. The ones of you who have chosen leadership roles, this means like a person like myself, any like big leadership, just people that are teaching, people that are guiding, parents, it's really everybody. Everybody has some form of leadership. But if you're particularly in the limelight, you are wise to take quiet time to yourself regularly, to discover honestly where your fears lie, while not feeling that you're in the scrutiny of the limelight, because it's hard, right, for people that are really in that limelight, under the scrutiny of the limelight all the time. When can they take that time for absolute self-honesty? Well, angelic realm are saying you're really wise to just book that time in at this time and give yourself that sanctity of self-honesty and start to make your influences, these are influencers, from that self-honesty place. And no longer allow your patterns of fear to be either hidden due to the belief systems of old, so they're staying there with the old God and we don't really see them, or hidden due to the new beliefs of what it means to be in alignment with source, where everything's all good and it's all light, so therefore we don't have the shadow. Yet to see them for what they are, limitations that can grow into freedom, and glean compassion for others as they grow into their alignment with the presence of reality. So all limitations are leading to liberation. And we can do that the easy way or the hard way, but they are all going there. Trust your individual maturity to be able to see the selfish one, the manipulative one, the narcissistic one with clear vision. Don't candy coat. Yet still see them having the potential of acting on the behalf of the betterment of all from within their limited belief systems of themselves. Just because now they do a good action doesn't mean that all that didn't exist. Or a liberating action doesn't mean that they're, I've got to change my language here too. Just because they do a liberating action, see how different the vibration is? It changes my mind completely. Doesn't mean that the limitation doesn't exist. That it means that there's a liberating action. Hooray. Limitation can still be there. Let's not make this overly simplified. Let's make this real. Let's allow every human being to be an inspiration for humanity. Let's allow them to be human. This is the wonder of being human, is that we can be a person with, say, 75% of ourselves is still identified with limitation. We can do incredible liberating things. And that limitation is still there. We're working it through. It doesn't change that liberation. This is the wonder of being human. And it requires a kind of trust in life that we haven't been educated in. We're educated in Santa Claus and in heaven and in all these places that if we are good enough, we get to go to them, where like nothing really troublesome happens. We're not educated in the real birthing process, which is contracted and expanded energies. There is no value in pretending that something is what it is not. In fact, it prolongs the journey of awakening. It creates more sleepy dust in the eyes of those seeing. And it plays on the conditioning for the perfect parent being the only safe leadership role forward. This is how the hierarchy of the structures that you are currently dismantling were created, with this idea of perfect meaning without perfect, meaning without contracted and expanded energies. It did not work then. Voila, we see this, and it will not work now. Reality includes evolution. Reality includes evolution. There is nothing wrong ever with your own process of evolution or anybody else's. This is your time of awakening to the truth of the complexity of your being, and most importantly, awakening to the truth of choice. And so each of you must see the reality clearly and then find your choice. Having people in leadership create comfortable false visions of reality to assist you in your choice is like putting you back to sleep. It's like a lullaby. And they're not doing it I don't know. I suggest that they're not doing it purposely. They're doing it under their own enmeshment with the old God complex. It doesn't really matter, because your choice is the thing that matters. You are destined to awaken, and so this cannot be stopped. Yet, the more sleeping choices that are made along the way, the more shakings are required to wake up the person who is rolled over and press the snooze button. So it just, the more we press the snooze button, the more of we got to hear the alarm again and again and again to wake up. So we don't have to do it that way. This is what they're saying. But we are destined to wake up. So we are going to wake up. But how many times do we have to roll over? How many times do we have to be shaken? The more one wakes up when the alarm is first heard, the brighter and the more vibrant and the more graceful their awakening is. I've had this experience. If I press snooze, I don't wake up as vibrant. If I wake up the first time, even though I might be like, oh, I don't want to, when I get up, wow, all of a sudden everything is just really on fire, like glittering and shining. So, dear children, do not fear the alarms. Don't fear these alarms that we see like, huh? What's going on over here? Oh, wow, that's great. Oh, I didn't expect that from over here. That's wonderful. And I didn't expect that from over there. I thought they were just doing something really helpful. And look, that doesn't seem helpful at all. I am now really so disturbed and I can't trust them. No. We have to be able to trust everywhere. We have to see the evolutionary process in ourselves, in each other. We've got to let the human breathe and be free. It's been so constructed for so long. So, dear children, do not fear the alarms. Do not fear looking at people in leadership and feeling alarms in some action, and rejoices in others. Let go of the old God and the need for all good or all bad, or, in other words, all limited or all liberated. Do not lose consciousness. Let yourself feel what you're feeling. Don't but so-and-so said that actually they're like this. No, trust your instincts around it. Everybody is part of this right now. No one player will lead you forward. Each and every one of you has a part to play. So this is the beauty of now. No one player is going to lead us forward. Each and every one of us has a part to play. So just like that. I didn't like that. Well, okay, yeah. There is self-evaluation about why we like and we don't like things. There is that. This is many multidimensional in its reality, but allowing that disturbance that we might feel to trigger that self exploration, rather than to turning that disturbance into something all good, or seeing something nice over here, seeing something good over here, and then turning it into all bad. And because it also is triggering something, it's like, wow, I never thought that of that person. I didn't think that they would do that liberating thing. No, they didn't really do it. Really, they're just being manipulative. Well, maybe. Let's see. But letting yourself go through the process. Don't let yourself go to sleep. Each and every one of you has unresolved heartbreaks, and you make choices from them. And this does not mean that you cannot make a good decision. So do not lose your discernment. Understand that people are choosing from their capacity to choose. They are acting from their capacity to act. And in some cases it's helpful, and in other cases it's not. And we have the right to be able to say that clearly. You see, beloved children, one of the most difficult realities for your old conditioning is to accept that creation includes contracted and expanded energies. It includes that humanity is perfect and imperfect, from that idea of perfect and imperfect. We need to look towards creation as something that can show us how to move through contracted and expanded energies, like a mother giving birth, rather than one who's going to take it all away. The baby is going to die if the contraction gets taken away. And this year, 2025, according to the angelic realm, one of the main themes of evolution of consciousness, one of the main healings that's taking place is the concept of failure, the fear of failure, the belief in failure, judging each other for failure, all of these kinds of things. So we're going to see this on a global platform, which we are. We're seeing it on personal levels, which I see all the time with all the clients that I'm dealing with. This is a very big thing, and they say that this year is about overcoming the idea of failure as a reality. Starting to understand that, no, this is just an evolutionary process. It is not a failure. That this idea of failure is something that has prevented us from radiating ourselves forward for thousands of years. From the angelic, we come to you, as always, as way showers, ready to assist you at any time to discover the places within yourselves that are more than capable of riding the waves of reality as the perfection of love, that are more than capable of riding the waves of reality as the perfection of love. And the angelic realm, this is what they're here to help us do. And there are unseen hands that are just waiting for us to ask. And it is true with the angelic, and I see this across the board, the people that work with this frequency, you need to ask. They do not interfere with karma, but they will assist you if you ask. To see each other in your evolutionary states without needing to condemn or grandiose your moments of blindness, and allow for truthful expressions of limitation and love. See yourself in a mutual state of love and compassion. Compassion for the weaknesses, love and unity through the strengths. Do not candy coat the realities of being human. Let it shine forward that mistake is no longer the way that we look at reality. Then the beauty and the love and the truth and the wonderment of creation can rise. The old God is dead, the one that you needed to have some kind of unreal perfect expression, the one that created an experience inside of hiding that which seemed imperfect, of defending that which seemed imperfect, of trying to have power over something that seemed imperfect. Let it be known and let it be seen that you are free and that you are evolutionary beings.
That was a lot of information, and words are vibration. They are vibrational medicines that transform our consciousness, and part of the great way to transform consciousness without it becoming a cerebral experience is through chanting. And so now I invite you to chant the sacred sound Om with me for about 5 minutes to integrate and digest all the ruminations that have taken place and to open a new vibrational doorway to yourself from all the new understandings and the new openings in the heart and the mind. Focus at the third eye, touch the thumb and first fingers together. Focusing on your third eye. free to continue on if you wish, or to stop and to give thanks, and to sit in silence for a few minutes, offering up a blessing for all beings. May all beings know that they are love. May all beings know that they are loved. May this be so. Thank you for joining.